Full-day kindergarten was brought to Ontario back in 2010 and is offered to 75% of schools across the province. The new program is aimed at being play-based and hopes to serve all kindergarten students by September 2014.
I didn't really have any expectations coming in. I wasn't really sure how the play-based component was going to work in full-day kindergarten. And I had a hard time letting go and giving up some of the control to the students and to the program itself. And a big concern of mine is I wasn't sure of having another teacher partner in the room with me.
I like it too. I think the kids are they're more into their play. They want to learn because they're playing with things that they're interested in. So their interests are there. So once you have the interest there, they want to learn more.
I like it. The students seem happier, especially the boys, I find. Now you're teaching to the interests of the students rather than teaching strictly to the curriculum. So they seem happier at school and they seem to enjoy it better.
It's another good thing because you only have half the kids. Before you'd teach 50 kids, 25 and 25, or now you only have one class every day. So you've got half the kids, so you can concentrate more on those 25 kids. Before we never did lay down, where now we have a quiet time. We either put a DVD in or we look at books or put music in. It's just 20 minutes of time to calm them down, and it seems to get us through the end of the day because they are very tired, especially the JKs and especially the kids who have a very late birthday because they're still 3 when they come to school.
For our playtime, we usually try to have 2 40-minute to an hour uninterrupted play blocks versus before we only had 1 40-minute.
So I agree they're improving academically, which only makes sense because they're here twice as long with us. Instead of being here every other day, they're here every day. I wouldn't say so much in the afternoons because they're tired, but definitely in the morning they're wide awake, and that's when you're getting the most out of the kids. So it is a win situation for them.
I think it's great having another teacher partner in the room if you get along and respect one another and know each other's roles. But I've also had it where the ECE tried to be the teacher and it ended up adding a lot of stress to the classroom and to my life. I think you really need to sit down at the beginning and talk about each other's roles and expectations of the classroom.
It is hard to get used to that right away, but I think it depends. If you have a good ECE, I have a very good ECE. She doesn't overtake the room. She knew her boundaries. She knew what to do, what not to do. She has wonderful ideas. She comes up with a lot of the creative things that I don't come up with. We divide our duties in half. She does the JKs, I do the SKs. I think you have to really respect each other's ideas and try and make the best of it. And that's the only way it'll work if you do it that way. One of the biggest changes in the program is how you evaluate the kids. So instead of teaching a lesson and doing activities and then testing them at the end, now you catch them playing, and then while they're playing, you go over and you talk with them and you document their thinking, their writing. You write down their thinking of why they think something, and you can extend their learning by asking them different questions or having them try different things. So that is the biggest change in I think the evaluating part of it is you're not asking the same question to everybody. You're going to each child independently, whatever their interest is, and extending their knowledge there. And that documentation is probably the biggest thing, because when you're all done and you've wrote it all down, then you have to go type it all up and keep records. So that's a big change compared to what we ever did before.
So that turns into a learning story, and I find that we're taking more pictures this year, and the pictures are just a reminder to the children what they were doing at that time. and we put the pictures in a binder, the portfolio binders, and it seems that the children are going back through their binders, so they're extending their learning based on that picture, even though that they can't read all the words on the page. But so we have a lot of pictures around the room that highlight really good play that's going on, and the expectations the children are unraveling through their play.
Technology has changed huge. Now in every classroom, at least in our board, the full day kindergarten has iPads for the teachers to use, the kids to use. So it's a lot more. The computer has really changed. The technology has really changed within the room. And
Well, we use the iPads too as a way of documenting the children's learning. And we're also using a website called Emoto, and it's an educational version like Facebook. Whereas we put what the children are learning or what they're doing in the room online, and the parents have a secure password to get on to the website just to observe what their children are learning in school every day. So, and it seems the parents seem to really like it. They like to know what the children are doing. And at interviews the other night, we actually were talking to a lot of parents about it, and they just said it was a great conversation starter. Whereas instead of the typical, what did you do at school today? Nothing. They can use that picture of their child and now have a whole depth conversation towards that picture.
And I think another thing is the parents were kind of nervous about full day as well. When they heard play-based, they thought that's all we would do is play, that we wouldn't be teaching any of the academics. But in reality, the same expectations that needed to be covered the old way as versus the full day, the expectations are the same, the report card's the same. So in the end, we still have to be at the same point. It's just how you go about getting there.